Sometimes I believe I am genuinely alone, or at least in another world separated from the real world, where I and I alone am the only one witnessing Nintendo doing some very strange things that not necessarily make me upset or angry or at the same time happy or excited, but genuinely just plain confused. A lot of the stuff that I'm witnessing is just baffling to me. Today, I want to talk about a couple of devices Nintendo have brought out / are bringing out, and this all kind of started with Alarmo, Nintendo Alarmo, which is their alarm clock. This alarm clock was revealed over a year ago now, and was also available to purchase over a year ago. And I just don't, to this day, understand essentially why Nintendo brought out an alarm clock and charged over $100 for it. At the time, I do remember when this thing was revealed, there were speculation or more so just a huge amount of excitement for the Nintendo Switch 2, which I believe at this time was revealed to be confirmed by a tweet by an executive at Nintendo, but there was no trailer, there was no look. We had no idea when this thing was even going to be revealed, never mind when it was going to come out. And so, at that time, to receive a new first-party Nintendo product that was essentially just an alarm clock was just, again, baffling. First of all, Nintendo are a gaming company, and this it's just simply not Nintendo. It's never been Nintendo. Nintendo, for the longest time now, have been about video games, and so this alarm clock, the only way it connects with video games is you can set different themes on it and different music to wake you up. But, I don't know, this thing just frustrates me. Why is it a thing? Was it really to distract us from the Switch 2 or bide their time? If so, why is it so expensive? And more importantly, why is no one talking about this? I understand it's just an alarm clock, but it's just such a strange move by Nintendo, and it wasn't even reviewed well at all. You would think by now its price would be reduced. The alarm clock essentially had a feature where it would sound an alarm in the morning to wake you up, and would detect movement and only wake you up once you got out of bed automatically, and therefore stop playing the alarm. And when the device was reviewed, and still to this day, the device just doesn't work. It doesn't work how it's intended to, and it's nowhere near the price Nintendo have put it at. And I'm talking about this product today because I look back on it and I just can't help think, but why? Again, was it a distraction? Or was it something Nintendo themselves genuinely wanted to put out? And I actually theorize, as weird and pointless and bad as Nintendo Alarmo is, they do genuinely like this product, and it's because there are others like it and others about to come out. Recently we got two new devices Nintendo announced in a direct. Number one is a revamp of the Virtual Boy, and a lot of people really lost their mind for this one. Number one, because it is Nintendo acknowledging this really old and failed console that used to try and be a VR machine, but ultimately just made people very sick. And the fact that Nintendo are not only acknowledging this machine and putting it on the Nintendo Switch online service for you to play those old games on that console, not only that, but they're introducing a new device and essentially re-releasing that hardware for you to play. Even though, like I said, the games weren't that great, and they just were like motion sickness simulators, essentially. And it's also especially weird because this is a device that essentially acts as something you could 3D print at home. It essentially acts as a device that you can plug your Switch in. That's really all that is here. Just like how the Nintendo Switch and Switch 2 dock look fancy, but on the inside there's just very basic circuit boards in there that is essentially just translating the screen to your TV. There's nothing fancy going on here. It's all on the outer shell that does, all the cool stuff. But the most baffling thing, again, about this product, and it's not out yet, but will come out soon, is the price. It's just insane. Again, $100 for this plug-in device. What are we doing? Like, I guess the only point on this, piece of hardware, or I don't even know if I can call it a piece of hardware, like a piece of plastic, essentially. The only positive I can see out of it is the original Nintendo Virtual Boy, at least where I live, is genuinely hard to get your hands on. And if you really do want to play those games, you're going to have a hard time doing so, and it's going to cost you actually more than Nintendo are about to charge. So I guess fair enough, but at the same time, why not just make these games available to play on the Switch? Do you really need to recreate the whole VR thing and sell as a new product just to play a very, very small library of games? It would probably be cheaper for both a business and consumer point to just remake all of the games on that console. And again, I'm pretty sure everybody would prefer that. And I believe during the last Nintendo Direct, we got interrupted all of a sudden for a new device, a new one. What could it be this time? A new alarm clock, a new, I don't know, a trash can, the Nintendo trash can, the Nintendo wardrobe, I don't know. But it wasn't either of those things. Instead, it was essentially Nintendo speaker, but not the Nintendo speaker you're thinking of. Just literally one device that will look like a flower from the game Super Mario Wonder on the Switch, and the flower will say the phrases it says in the game. Now, at first glance, this is kind of innocent, right? It's like, okay, you have a talking flower from that game. It was a big identity in the game, and it's still featured in other games like Mario Party. But again, why? Why are Nintendo making this? Do they genuinely feel like this is a cool collector's item, or are they just trying to shell out these weird devices now? Also, the model that we saw for a brief moment was just completely stationary. It wasn't like as the product as the product talked, it moved, like its little petals on either side moved or danced or anything like that. No, this is literally something you can, again, 3D print at home, put a speaker inside of it, and job done. It will replay sounds that the flower says in that game over and over again. And again, like, am I the only one hearing about this? Because I'm certainly the only one talking about it. And I really do assume, and I'm going to assume, that this is also, maybe not $100, but going to cost a lot of money for what it is. So when we take this flower, that's a speaker. The Alarmo, that's an alarm clock. The Virtual Boy, the new Virtual Boy that is essentially a piece of plastic and a plug and play. I do wonder what's going on. Like, I know I've said it 1,000 times already, but what's the goal here? Who's buying this? I can literally right now go to a store in my local town and purchase a Nintendo Switch Lite for cheaper. Granted, it is pre-owned, so I guess the comparison is a bit strange. But I can purchase a Nintendo Switch console that plays the newest game, Legends EA, for a cheaper price than I can buy Alarmo. And I just can't wrap my head around that. And again, I can't wrap my head around who else is buying this. Who's buying the alarm clock apart from kids? And I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, I would not be able to convince my parents to spend £100 on an alarm clock. I don't know. Never mind a Virtual Boy. And even if I was a kid, I wouldn't want the Virtual Boy because I would have no idea what it is. This is clearly just catering to an older audience. That older audience has probably had their fun with the Virtual Boy, and if they want more fun, they'll just emulate the games in a better space. And then we have this talking flower, and again, who's getting this? I just don't really get who it's for. And in an economy right now that's so tight and so expensive, what are we doing? What are we doing? I don't know. If you do, let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day.